legislator in the State House, former managing director of the City and County of Honolulu, and the former interim mayor, Kirk Caldwell. Kirk.
Good morning and aloha. You know, it's good to be here before your family, United Public Workers. I like that. Our union, our family. And Dayton and your leadership has allowed me to come talk to you as family. Allowed me to join you as family. And to look to you for support and to earn your support to become the next mayor of the city and county of Honolulu. It is the United Public Workers. And it is because you stand together behind your leadership, fighting for issues that are important to you and your families. Without the UPW, you would be nowhere you are today because of the hard work of your leadership today and those who came before you that fought for a fair wage, that fought for good benefits, that fought for retirement benefits. That would not have happened but for this union. So remember, when the union calls out to you for help, step up and help your union because you're helping yourselves and your families. Now I'm here today because I want to earn your support. We know in Hawaii, you can have your leadership say, Kirk Caldwell is the guy who should be the next mayor. But I need to earn your support. And if I don't earn your support, I don't win. And I'm here to do that, to work as hard as possible, because your leadership has allowed me to come into your family, into your home, to talk to you. So I want to talk a little bit about myself. How many of you in this room know that I was born in Waipahu in a small plantation hospital in Waipahu? Raise your hands if you know that. All right, a few more hands, it keeps coming up. How do you guys know that? You're watching the Korean channel, the Japanese channel. Well, my wife is on TV and she talks about me. Most people don't know that I was born in Waipahu. How many of you know that I was raised in the town of Hilo? Raise your hands if you know if I was raised in the town of Hilo. One hand. Two hands. All right. Well, that's the other point I like to emphasize. That I was raised in Hilo from the age of 5, and I spent my life there until we moved to Honolulu, till I moved to Honolulu for a job when I graduated from college, came back home from working for Senator Arnoy. Why do I talk about Waipahu and Hilo wherever I go? It's not because I think I'm special or something. We all know, no matter where we grew up, whether it's Waimanalo, Waianae, Kalihi, Kaimuki, Wailua, and you guys come from all kinds of places, and some people come from other parts of America and other parts of the world. We are shaped by the communities that we grew up in. And those two small plantation towns of Waipahu and Hilo, and they were small when I was growing up, affected who I am in two very important ways that are critical to why I believe I'm the best person to be mayor. Number one, and very important, is in these two towns, we learn at a young age that by working together, by looking for a common solution, we can do better. You can't fight each other in these towns, because if you do, what happens? You gotta leave, because these are your neighbors, these are your classmates, these are your friends, these are your co-workers. Hard to live there and be pointing fingers and blaming each other and saying the problem is your cause. You caused it. But by working together and fighting together, you do better. And I learned that in Waipahu, and I learned that in Hilo. Community was strong. If I went in the flume by our house, within 10 minutes, someone would call my mom, and she'd be out there pulling me out by my ear, giving me a spanking for going into flume. She's afraid I'd get sucked down to the sugar mill and ground up. And I learned, hey, people are watching out for me. I wouldn't see them, but I know they saw me, and they were making sure I was safe. And in Hilo, every time there was a tsunami alert, usually late at night, my family would hop in their station wagon. I was the oldest of 5 kids. We'd go down to Bayfront and help our friends take stuff out of their stores, so that they wouldn't lose that stuff if the tsunami came. But you know what? The whole front street was choked with people. Neighbors helping neighbors get their stuff out of their stores. And after the tsunami alert was passed, we'd take everything back. Valuable lesson as a young man. Watching my family, watching my neighbors, watching everyone helping each other, running into a danger zone to help. That's what these communities are about. Guess what? That's what your union is about. Running to danger zone and helping. The other thing I learned was the value of hard work. Our house, my dad was a plantation doctor. Our house was on the backside of the Philcom Center. The hospital was across the street where the Salvation Army is. And my bedroom faced the sugar mill. So at 8 o'clock at night, the whistle would go off. You know what? You want to guess why the whistle went off at 8 at night? Change of shift. The mill went 24/7. Every sugar mill was like that. Remember, for you guys can remember, they harvest cane in the middle of the night, bring it to the mill. 8 o'clock meant the guys who came after lunch were going home. And the guys who were coming at 8 were going to work past midnight. That was, as a little kid, I looked out of my bedroom window before I crawled into bed because an 8 o'clock whistle meant time for me to go to sleep. I would see guys leaving, all covered with dust from the gas, and I saw guys coming in to go to work. And I saw that every single night, from when I first became aware of stuff till we moved away from Waipahu. Valuable lesson. People work hard, really hard to live here, really hard to help their families. Then when I went to Hilo and I graduated from high school, my dad, who was the son of a small farmer who lost his farm in the Depression, and his dad became a janitor. And my dad went to the war, World War II, and then went to medical school on the GI Bill of Rights. He believed in hard work. He knew what it meant to work hard. He told me, boy, you're going to work hard now. You're going to go work at Puna Sugar. He didn't ask me, do you want to work at Puna Sugar? He said, you're going to work there. And then he went and found the hardest job I could do. He told me, you're going to be in the Sabodan gang. I go, what's that, Dad? That's the weed spray gang, where you carry a 50-pound backpack on your back up to the truck, fill it up with poison, then you walk rows of cane, 15, 20 of us, all day long, every day, 5 days a week, start at 6:30 in the morning before it gets too hot. And we sprayed weeds. It was hard work. And there was one older Japanese man, did this for almost 37 years. He walked like this when he wasn't carrying the backpack. He was bent from working hard. Valuable lesson, how hard people work. I was fortunate to learn that lesson. But here's the other thing. I made more money than my other high school classmates who were working at the Naniloa bussing tables or working at Kent's Pancake House or, doing carpentry work. Why was that? You want to guess? Union. The LWU organized the Puna Sugar Plantation. Used to be called Aloha Sugar. Back in the 30s. And this guy, in the 1970s, got the benefit of that hard work for that union. So I made a good wage. I made such good wage, I came back another summer and one winter to work because I wanted to make the money, but I worked hard for that money. I carry the value of hard work with me to this day. When I joined the House as the Vice Chair of the Transportation Committee in 2003, and after 2 years became the Labor Chair, issues regarding labor, issues regarding unions, issues regarding benefits and safety and all of those things were in my heart. And sometimes people wonder, why did I fight so hard for working families? You're a corporate lawyer, why do you care? I cared because of Waipahu. I cared because of Hilo and where I came from. Community, hard work. That's what I am. And I learned one other thing with hard work as community. It's jumping in the trench with everyone else. It's being hands-on. It's about saying, how can we find common ground where we all agree, and then let's solve the problem. And if we have to fight, we fight together to solve the problem. Now I'm running in a really hard race. I'm running against incumbent Mayor Peter Caldwell and the former governor of the state of Hawaii, a man who I worked for on his campaigns and made contributions to. And I'm very proud that we, the state of Hawaii, has produced the only Filipino-American governor in the history of our country, 230 years. But we also produced the first Native Hawaiian governor, John Waihee. We produced the first Japanese governor in the history of the United States, and Governor Ariyoshi. We sent a Chinese guy to the Senate. We sent Dan Inouye to the Senate. We sent Dan Akaka to the Senate. We're an incredible place, full of love for diversity and support for each other. And I'm proud that Ben became our first and only Filipino-American governor. But I have a hard race. And you got an incredible choice between the three of us. Really, really different choices. And I want to talk about them a bit. Peter Caldwell, you heard Chip talk about Peter. This last session, at the beginning of the session, Peter had bills introduced to bust apart collective bargaining. Make it county by county, because he wanted more power. He wanted to make sure that your brothers and sisters on other islands doing the same work may not get the same benefits, the same pay, or anything else. Is that fair? No. Not fair. But he wanted it because he wanted the power to drive you down if he could. And in the hearing, he actually said that you guys are lazy. Lazy. And your leader, Dayton Nakani Lewis, stood up, leaned forward like a bull, and told him, Peter, you come to one of these Section 8 meetings and you tell my membership to their face that they're lazy. Oh, he shut up. He sat down. He got kind of red-faced. Now this is your union leader standing up for you. But why would Peter Caldwell say you were lazy? When you're the guys, look around this room. Every day you go to work and you work hard to make this city work. If you don't work, the kukai doesn't go away. Right? If you don't work, I can't take a shower in the morning. If you don't work, the bathrooms aren't clean. If you don't work, the grass is not cut in our parks. You work hard every day. And we, all the taxpayers and citizens of the City and County of Honolulu, benefit. But who else benefits? Peter Caldwell benefits. He sits at the top of the pyramid of the team that you're a part of. If you wanted to screw him over, don't work. Or do a lousy job. And in 2 days, people will be rising up all over this county pissed off at Peter Caldwell because things are not being kept clean. You know that. And despite his saying you're lazy, you go to work every day and work hard. Because you believe you're doing the right thing for the people of this city and county. And I don't know why Peter Caldwell does not get it. In fact, I don't even know why he wants to be mayor if he thinks you're the enemy and you're lazy. When I ran 2 years ago, you know what else he said? He said, furloughs are paid vacations. You guys on paid vacation when you are on furlough? No way. Is it going to affect your retirement? Yes. You're on paid vacations. So you're lazy and you're cruising. It gets me so upset that he does not recognize what you do. That he puts you down when you're putting him up. That's Peter Caldwell. He wants another 4 years so he can pound on you because you're the enemy. He wants to break apart collective bargaining. He wants to talk about you not doing your jobs and you're cruising and lazy. And yet he wants you to work every day so he looks good. I don't get it. Then you have Ben Cayetano. Ben Cayetano wants to now be mayor. He says that I've never made a tough decision in my life. And that he has. And I want to talk about that. But first, every one of you in this room, have you made a tough decision in your life? Hell yes. You don't need to be governor to make a tough decision. You've made them. Personal tough decisions regarding your family, regarding your finances, regarding your children, your elderly, your tutus. You don't get out of this life without making tough decisions. And no politician has a monopoly on tough decisions. This is ego speaking. Ben Cayetano's ego speaking. And I'll tell you, just like you, I've made tough decisions, personal decisions. But here's one example of a tough decision that's political. I support rail.
I supported in 2003 when I got into the House and became the Vice Chair of Transportation. I supported as Majority Leader fighting for the excise tax so we could pay for it. I fought as the chairman of the Go Rail Go effort on the referendum, and I went to the city and fought for rail. Fighting for rail is hard. If we ask people to show your hands who supports rail and who doesn't, we could probably divide right down the middle. And I understand. Politicians don't like controversy. I ran to rail, knowing full well that people did not like it. And I represented Manoa Valley. They don't like rail, because they're 15 minutes from everywhere. But I believe it was the right thing for the people of the city and county of Honolulu. It's about transportation equity. It's about giving people choice. My point is, it's easier to say no to rail, which is what Ben does. Because what do you got to do? All you got to do is raise your hand and say, no, and walk away. I have to go out there every day and argue as to why, and address your valid concerns. But let's talk about Ben's tough decisions. And I want to ask you whether they're good decisions. Anyone want to hazard a guess one of Ben's tough decisions you live with every 2 weeks without fail? Every 2 weeks, you benefit or do not benefit from Ben's tough decision. Anyone want to guess? Payroll Act. Courtesy of Ben Cayetano. He hasn't been governor for how long now? 10 years? He hasn't run in 14? But you live with his tough, bad decision of a payroll act that goes on and on and on. And if your children decide to work for the city and county, and follow in your great footsteps, they benefit too from that bad, tough decision. Bad. Here's another tough decision that Ben made. He had to balance his budget. Instead of working hard to figure out how to do that, he skimmed off almost $400 million of money from the employee retirement system. That's your money. Your contribution along with the state's and county's contribution. Your money. He took it and balanced his budget, patted himself on the back and said, look what I did. So today, the ERS is underfunded. Today, in this session, last session, there was an issue on spiking, right? For overtime. Because some of you guys got to work overtime because there's not enough of you to do the job. And they wanted to pound down on you for that overtime. It would not have been a problem if Ben would not have rated almost $400 million. You live with that tough, bad decision. It was easy for him. All he had to do was take the money. He took the easy way out and left you guys to suffer 10 years after he left the state. Outrageous and sad, because we could have had a fully funded ERS system that would have benefited all of us who work for the city and county of Honolulu. And now it's really in bad shape, and we've got to figure out how to fix it. Here's another tough decision that Ben made. After his first term in governor, unions were upset with him, particularly the public sector unions. But he was in a tough battle against Linda Lingle. You guys did not want Linda Lingle. Ben begged for your endorsement from your union, almost on the verge of tears for your endorsement. Please endorse me. I need your support. You gave it to him, he got elected, and what was one of the first things he did?
Slap our faces.
Huh?
Slap our faces.
Slap your faces. He fired 1,000 employees, public workers, 1,000. His director of human resources personnel said, Ben, you don't need to do this. 8 or 9 months, you lose 1,000 people through attrition. People retire, people go on to other jobs. He said, no. I want to make a point that I'm a tough guy, that I can make a tough decision. So I'm not waiting. I'm firing them right now. I'm going to ruin lives. How many of you have not had a job at some point in your life? How does that feel? How is your self-esteem? How does it feel when you go home and see your wife or husband, your kids, and say, no, I don't have a job. I can't provide. I can't help pay the mortgage. I can't help pay the rent. I can't even buy you food. What does that do to the human soul? What does that do to families who love this person who's been fired? He could have waited. No. I'd much rather ruin lives. Why? Very sad. And those people, they were fired over 10 years ago. I hope they got rehired somewhere. But I know lives are ruined. The last tough decision. When Ben was governor, he was negotiating with the teachers and UH professors on a contract. Kind of what you're going through right now. Instead of working hard for that common ground that I talk about, instead of trying to figure out how do we solve the problem together, he went and punched in the nose the teachers union and the UH union because he's a tough man. Negotiations broke down in the first time and the only time in the history of our state. There was a strike of the teachers, public school teachers, and UH professors. It shut down the entire educational system. And children's and young adults' lives were affected in terms of education because Ben Cayetano did not want to negotiate anymore. Wanted to fight instead. Those two unions have not forgotten this, by the way, how he treated them. And I'm sure the children of that time, they have not forgotten that they missed out on some education they should have gotten. So a guy like that as mayor, good luck when you negotiate with him. Now I want to be your mayor. I almost got there last time. Your union endorsed me. 2 percentage points difference on election day. I had 60 days. It was a sprint from when Mufi resigned to the election. One more week, I'd have been standing here asking you for your support in a run as an incumbent. So I have a tough race. But I want to be your mayor because I am hands-on. I want to be your mayor because I love the very issues that you work on every day. For me, being mayor is about making a difference in people's lives on a daily basis, and you do that because, as I mentioned, you take away the sewage, you make the water run, you clean the bathrooms, you take care of the grass, and everything else in between. And if you do your job, everyone benefits. And I want to go home at the end of the day knowing I do things every day working with you to make people's lives better. That is really fulfilling, and that's what a mayor does anywhere around this country. And I love those issues, and I believe I'm the only person who is running of the three who talks about those issues and is passionate about them. The other two is build rail no matter what. I don't care if I have to tax you more. The other guy is kill rail no matter what. And I'm about all the other stuff. And I am passionate about rail. So I love the nitty-gritty. And I want to jump in the trenches with all of you. And I want to do the legacy projects like rail on our massive sewer infrastructure project so we can live better in the urban core. More vertical, a little more densely, so we can preserve our outlying lands for ag and openness. And that means keep the country, whether it's Waimanalo, Kailua, Kaneohe, North Shore, Wailua, Waianae, Nanapuli, and all the great rural communities around our island, so they can stay rural and we can be more dense. So we need to build these projects. So it's up close and nitty-gritty stuff, and it's the long-term legacy projects that are going to give back to us for 100 years. This is your three choices. I hope this morning I've maybe earned your support. Your leadership has said, Kirk's the guy. I hope you go home and tell your loved ones, Kirk's the guy. If you do, there are 9,000 plus members of UPW on this island. If you talk to your loved ones, significant others, your moms and dads, your grandparents, I get 4 more votes on top of yours. I could get 40,000 votes. I win in a landslide. You can make a difference. But you need to go home. You got to ask people to consider voting for me, and then you need to vote. Every one of you. You vote, you have power. You vote, you affect the future of this city. You vote, we sit around this table together, not me on one side, you on the other as the enemy, but as one team working together to figure out how we continue to work together to make this city even greater than it is today. And I know it can't be greater unless you're with me working together. So I want to thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to talk to you, and I would be honored to receive your support. Mahalo and aloha, everyone. Thank you.